Welcome back, everybody, to game number 3, CLG versus IG. I almost lost my mind in that game. I'm here, but only slightly. Mentally, I'm a little bit discombobulated. I bet IG is too. I am LD of dotacommentaries.com. Joining me, of course, is Luminous of DC as well. We're casting Beyond the Summits World Tour Grand Finals, game number 3. This one's for all the marbles. That $1,000 as well, but more importantly, pride and some momentum going into the International 2. Less than a week away now before those preliminary games kick off. Lumi, are you ready for this one?
I am ready, and there is a Spirit Breaker, a Sniper, and a gyro. There's no Pudge. Now the thing is, does the enemy team run a Pudge against the Darkseer? I think this is not going to be a Pudge game. The heroes, like you mentioned last game, like you predicted, IG is going to pick better heroes against it. They're going to have better lanes overall, and they have smarter laning. And I think when you open up with the Darkseer, it kind of limits a Pudge pick.
Yeah, it's really hard to make though. Now, to some degree, Hook and Dismember could help deal with that. Ooh, CLG. Well, they get pajkatt's Lycan. He is normally the one who plays it for CLG. I expect he will this game as well. But if you want to talk about heroes that could deal with Lycan well, Darkseer is probably one of the best, maybe Windrunner up there as well, but Darkseer is going to offer you more in those team fights. In those ever-critical Roshan engagements, it also is worth mentioning, this is a Dire side Lycan. Yes, CLG are on the Dire, IG on the Radiant, so they will have the Roshan advantage to begin with, and then doubly so with the Lycan. But if you're ever going to have to fight near Roshan, Darkseer is the one hero you want to have on your team.
Definitely that's the case. Of course, we're going to see Lone Druid and Invoker being picked up here. So finally, on the third game of this best-of-3 series, Ferrari will be showing why he is one of the better Invoker players in the world. And the question is, are we going to see a Shadow... I thought for sure we're going to see a Shadow Demon being picked up second or third for IG, because Shadow Demon and Darkseer just basically makes Lycan useless in kind of a prolonged engagement. If he goes BKB, you just keep disrupting whoever he's focusing. If he goes for Neko 3, that's a different story, which we might see CLG pajkatt do in this game.
Wow. Well, IG gets some just amazing heroes. Invoker for Ferrari, of course, the Lone Druid, the Darkseer. Probably going to see YYF handling that Darkseer in the offlane. As for the Lone Druid, I guess that'll probably be Zhou playing it. But, I mean, talk about heroes that could deal with Lycan. Entangle available for Lycan. The Surge as well, if he's ever chasing someone. You mentioned Shadow Demon. But if you're not going to get Shadow Demon, I mean, you still have Cold Snap. You've definitely Blast, Tornado, EMP if you want to go that route. Ice Wall, when he's not in ult form, will completely negate his abilities. And even it's not just the Lycan as well. Whenever we watch Lycan play, we have to remember, Lycan needs a lot of support. He needs a team that can play 4v5 in the early stages before he can really get on a roll. And IG have a team that can put a lot of pressure on early. So, as far as giving away Lycan goes, I think this is a pretty good scenario to do it in. It's still giving away pajkatt's Lycan, though. And that hero, he has not been losing with this hero.
I mean, I think I'm going to be agreeing with you here. I feel like IG is completely ready for this Lycan. The Lone Druid is also the bigger thing that a lot of people underestimate. The Roots is so reliable. Even those 25%, it's gonna hit on Lycan at least multiple times in this game. They are gonna ban the Dark Enigma themselves. That is kind of a big shocker, simply because I mean that's a combo that got them GG last game, right? The Enigma Black Hole plus the Darkseer, but they're gonna go a little bit differently. And I mean, I don't blame them, considering that Enigma Black Hole, sure, it's a big AOE disable, but I don't think they're going to be big on AoE damage. I mean, there's the Lone Druid, there's the Invoker, but I think they're going to go for better lanes overall. Enigma doesn't give you that better lane. He sits in the jungle.
I think they maybe also want something that's a little bit more spammable as well. Enigma, the Black Hole, you get one big shot to win a fight, but if you screw it up, if you get picked off, then you're pretty much out of it. And, well, we'll have to see. They do need a jungler, most likely. It could be a jungle Darkseer. We have seen that before. They have two strong solos in the Lone Druid, who can go to the offlane, and the Invoker, almost certain to go mid, I would figure, for this lineup. So IG still have flexibility. They don't need another jungler, because Darkseer can fill that role. But I still expect him to be in the offlane. Where's CLG going to go from here? They've got Leshrac. I'm thinking maybe something like Sandcane, and then I'm not sure what that last pick will be. Probably something to handle the offlane. One other thing we've seen from CLG, which is worth mentioning, is they do like to occasionally go for those kind of aggressive pushes early on, backstabbing the creep wave with Lycan. I believe that was them. Maybe it was someone they played against. But I know we've seen that from several teams in the tournament. That 3-4-man push early on. Try and knock down a couple of towers. If they want to do it, they have some good heroes to do it.
I seen the MUFC did it. I see WE did it. The 4-man push, suicidal push on the bot lane. I was thinking that this is the game for Akke to bust out his Chanter Enchantress. as I say that Faith selects Chen for IG. So right now this bot lane here, or are they on Dire now? No, they're on Radiant. Okay, IG this bot lane is going to be immense because Lone Druid is going to be sitting in the lane getting some really predictive farm. Chen's going to be coming out of the jungle for ganks and pushes. And whoever IG is going to be picking for their last support, I mean, they could push down the tier 1 tower no matter who's on the other side.
Wow. Yeah, it's going to be Chuan's Chen for this game. And, well, good setup, good AoE, good team fight. CLG is getting some strong supports here in the Sand King on the track. And IG actually got the Shadow Demon with the last pick. So that sets up the Invoker. That also gives you a way to help protect your team against Lycan. And I think IG is just perfectly prepared to deal with this Lycan. As long as they don't give up too many early kills. Chen heals, send back to base. I talked about all of the disables they have. The Surge, the Disruption. There are so many ways to keep your team alive to turn the fight around. And Lycan is not really a burst damage hero. To some degree, he can be physical burst, but mostly he needs to chase. It takes him a few seconds to kill you, and during those precious few seconds, that's where all the defensive abilities could turn things around. And CLG, it's a hero they've used before. It's not going to be, or it's going to be handled again by Misery, I should say. And well, how will this fit in? This time, it's definitely a different lineup backing him up, but pretty full pick.
If IG wants to win this, they have to have the best positioning in the game because there's massive amount of chasing heroes. Sand King, when he gets this blink, Gale is from long range. Misery, we know what Storm's could do. Storm has been picked multiple times this game. It's up to Faith, it's up to Chuan to have really good positioning. YYF should always have a Surge available for defensive purposes. It's going to be on tough on IG, but if there's one team that could position themselves to avoid all these stuns and try to grind out, I want to feel you grind out CLG this game. There's no way you kind of initiate on them. It's just not going to work. You gotta have to wait for them to come on you and then basically outplay them. It's up to IG to make those big plays. I feel like CLG has a better draft here.
Well, it's hard to say for me. I think I'm with you a little bit. I think CLG have more potential to just sort of snowball out of control.
Right.
But I will say, IG just have so much defensively. They have such strong laning heroes. We'll see, though. It's really going to come down to the roaming action of these supports. And here we go. They want to get things started early. pajkatt going to be playing that Lycan. It is going to be the 4-man backstab push, I think, from the looks of things. Earlier in a Basilius picked up on Lycan. You normally don't see this if he's just going to jungle. Akke on the Venomancer. Of course, lacoste playing that Sand King. Ward's picked up. Expect to see one pop down momentarily behind the tower. In the lane. There you go. Spotting out any sort of rotation. Misery on the Storm Spirit, and finally Mirakel on the Leshrac. Maybe they won't 4-man push, maybe they just want to kill right away, but this ward behind the tower suggests a lot of aggression. They're gonna head mid. Probably looking for Chuan, and if they are they gonna fight him? No, they're gonna back off.
Yeah, I don't think this is 4-man push, although they're gonna come back right now. Their reveal Shadow Demon's gotta go on right side. He could tangle through this passive trees and go down and be completely fine, but not even gonna waste his tango. Is Miracle gonna hit a big splitter? Nope. Miracles, Faith is going to back out just fine.
It is going to be the 4-man push. So
okay.
CLG, okay. A lot of teams have been. This has got to be the fourth. I mean, you mentioned MUC Orange. I've seen Dara do something similar. I don't know if they did it with Lycan. I know they've done it with other jungling heroes like Chen. I think M5 has done it too. So at least 4 or 5 teams have tried this. I gotta say, with the mixed results, it's worked well once or twice, but mostly it doesn't seem to work that well. And the big thing to keep an eye on is what is the trade-off going to be? Will Darkseer knock down this tower? Will he get at least some damage on it early? Well, we're going to have to wait to find out.
And Darkseer basically right now is right-clicking on the creeps. He is going to push, I imagine, a little bit quicker than this tri-lane, because this tri-lane, or quad lane, excuse me, is not doing it unmolested. You know, there's a Syllabary trying to micro a spear here, and they're trying to cancel that clarity. Yeah, no, unfortunately, it's just out of least range. And that tower, I mean, still very healthy in terms of HP. Comparatively, the tower on top lane has taken a little bit more damage.
Right, middle lane, it's Ferrari. Look at the damage on the Misery. Not going to find the kill just yet, but a lot of damage being done there. And they're getting some decent levels on Ferrari. They're also getting some good levels on YYF. And like you said, they might not push it quite as fast, but they're at least getting a decent trade-off here. And the bear gets ganked off. Nice job here by that lone druid player, Zhou, trying to pull the creep wave away. This is also shutting down the push. You can backstab our creeps all day, says IG, but if you don't have a creep army of your own, you're not getting this tower. Here comes that second wave, but the hero's not positioned. Yeah, this is not working for CLG. They're going to abandon the strat.
Yeah, CLG has to abandon it, and they're so far behind right now. Top tower down to about half HP. YYF's got 3 levels of free farm, and he's got every single last hit in this wave. We saw how Pudge, gets free farm, and he is basically insane. Well, Darkseid, or any hero for that matter, if you give him absolute free farm, it is going to be insane. YYF now has been creep cutting, continues to do so, and up to already a Ring of Health goal.
And now if they want to come in and trade lane against this Darkseer, it's not going to be nearly as easy, because it's not just the rate of health, it's also the levels. He's level 4, which means that Surge, as well as only having a level 1 Burrow Strike, level 1 Split Earth, they can't kill him, and in fact, they might not even be able to stand against YYF. That Ion Shell is going to do a lot of damage. Normally when we see this matchup, it's Sankey Leshrac up top, just pulling constantly, getting the early levels, and when that situation, you can kill the Darkseer early, but it's not going to be the case. Now, they might try, but there's no way they're killing him with these two heroes being level 1 each.
I mean, there's an Invis Sand King, yeah, but without Edict, there's an Edict level 2 Edict, but again, it's not going to do enough. Soul Ring's going to get delivered. I was going to say, is a courier flying yet? Yeah, there's flying, so that Sand King can't snipe the courier either. YF going to be wrapping around, trying to... Oh, he sees the Sand King popping out in Invis, and turn back. Very slow start for both teams. I gotta say, the only thing that went out a little bit favorably for the Dire Squad there is that Zhou is getting no farm right now. So only got 6 CS, 5 denies, which is not too bad.
Well, now he's going to farm. Now that the tri-lane is left. And I feel like Lone Jura doesn't actually need that many. Sure, he needs some farm, but because of his ultimate, he can rush the items that he wants. Or if he goes for the up, Ferrari gets pulled in middle lane. A little bit of damage being done. Misery trying to harass as best he can. Now, with the bottle pickup, Misery may be able to look to control the rune, spam that Revenant. He's not leveling it up this game, though. On top lane, it's YYF. The Split Earth cast and cancelled. Miracle opts not to go for it in the end, and if YYF didn't get that free start, that's probably first blood right there, top, because definitely. They would both be level 3. So it's not just what we're seeing that's not working out. It's also what CLG is just missing opportunities here because of that early decision. So it's not just that the quad lane push failed; the effects are still being felt even a couple of minutes later into the game.
Well, it's not like the Dire Squad misplayed. I mean, they right click on the creeps as fast and as hard as they can. I feel like IG just played well, right? They used the bear to draw the next creep wave. Chen grabbed the best creep available to counter that strat, which is the Wildkin Tornado, slow everyone down. And Darkseer on the top lane responding correctly, cutting off the creep wave, making sure they could put as much pressure as possible to take that bot quad lane away. So I feel like IG responded splendidly. It's as if they practiced against this. The crazy strat not phasing them at all.
Well, it's a strat at this point, which it's not really that much of a pocket strat because so many teams have tried it. It is something unusual, but you can kind of see it coming. Here we go. They try and smoke at Misery, but he's prepared. He just heads up towards his teammate. Pajkatt comes out of the jungle, and I would say King caught out a bit by himself. There's the Soul Catcher, but they don't actually vision. It's Ferrari gets pulled back in. The Wolves doing the damage. Burrow Strike to follow. First blood claimed by Pajkatt. In fact, killing off that Invoker. So something going well for CLG here finally. But while this is happening bottom lane, that Lone Druid who was getting no farm with 6 CS 2 minutes ago, he's up to 17 now.
Yep, and he's taking away Venomancer's wards as well. These wards are still level 1. And between the bear and the hero, easy, one hit, 16, 17 gold here. So walking into his shop, getting boots for himself, and we'll be putting one on his bear, I imagine, very soon. Although, last game, I don't think he put one on his bear, or with the Slibber we saw today, did not actually get boots on his bear. No phase, no boots at all. It was kind of awkward. Kind of different Lone Druid build.
Yeah, well, I guess the thing about Lone Druid is there's a lot of styles to play. I mean, some players like to get the early Tranquil boots on the hero, the phase boots on the bear. Some like to just get regular boots on both. Some like phase boots. I mean, once in a while you'll even see phase boots on the bear just to chase, although that's not really that common. But there's just so many ways to build him. And then even when you look towards the bigger items, some players like their Orb of Venom on the hero, or the bear, some like to skip it. And then, of course, we've seen the Radiance build, middle lane, Misery, Tornado, Cold Snap. Ferrari needs one more right click. Turns around, unfortunately. Thought he had that one. Does not. And Misery lives to fight another day. The constant Bottle Crow will keep him in the lane. And here comes lacoste rotating in. They might even be able to kill Ferrari here.
Yeah, I mean, Stormsday could definitely zip. They do not expect the Storm to be around right now after seeing him how low HP he is. But Ferrari now checks on the top lane, gets himself a regen rune. Oh, a double whammy against Misery. Misery's going to check the rune and sees nothing. That's quite unfortunate.
No regen for you.
Yep. And Misery's going to drop a ward up on the cliff on the other side. Love it. But
no, that was Ferrari.
Is he going to see the gank coming? He does see the gank coming. Nicely done.
That was actually Ferrari who dropped that one, so giving himself, just really helping him out against any potential for Sand King to try and roam in and go for a kill. And there's up. We talked about a top. We sort of gone away from this lane. YYF is just having his way with this lane. We've seen Dark. You know, we saw the tri lane where IG were up against CLG's Darks here, game number 1, and they just completely shut that down. But we're seeing the exact opposite. We're seeing Darks who gets a decent start. Give him an inch, he'll take a mile. YYF already 7, Soul Ring Tranquil Boots, and there's got to be something on the courier from as well. Maybe not, but even so, 37 CS leading the way, having a great time, and Lone Druid too. Overall, IG just farming all over the map, getting the levels, getting the farm. And by the way, they have a Chen, level 5 on Chuan, getting a lot of levels on his own right, not far off from that ultimate.
Right, and here's the thing about how this game's going to go. I feel like IG is going to be playing the defensive end. They're going to try to accrue as much EXP as possible and just go for safe but aggressive play to take down the spot tier 1 tower, for example. Chen getting that level 6 absolutely crucial. And this tier 1 tower I think is going to be given up. One thing I want to also point out is that Lycanthrope has offered Medallion Courage instead of finishing that Vlad's. Medallion Courage actually allows you to farm faster in jungle as opposed to Vlad's because of the -6 armor. Really helps you out and your wolves out. So he's trying to really catch up on the farm, and also if he can help it, he can sneak a Roshan with that Medallion Courage. For now, still working towards that Vlad's. Tier 1 tower goes down, and I don't think Dire is showing any sign of, or Radiant showing any sign of stopping. 2 big Chen creeps, Bear gets resummoned.
You know,
here we go, tier 2.
I would have liked to see Chuan send the Bear back to base and heal. That is a cute little tactic you can do, but here we go, zip in. They actually focus Faith, it is the correct choice, but Chen just sends him back to base. Disruption, Holy Persuasion, he's out of here. See ya. So many trollish combos available for IG right now, and guess what? If you rotate bottom with 3 and you don't get the kill, Ferrari's gonna farm mid. Dark's here. Oh, well, I thought he was gonna farm, but he actually came. Where is he? Oh, he went mid. Now he's going back top to defend his tower. They get a tower, and pajkatt's not gonna get that counter tower.
Yep. I mean, of course, he's gonna surge back up. He's going for a mech, imagine. Mech on Darkseer getting very, very popular as a build, and now Darkseer just. The Lycans sees the Darkseer is like, well, no way, I'm going to pushing this one, go back to the jungle. And that's what Lycans needs to do, right? I think the game that we've seen pajkatt, earlier, I think you were quoting for statistics that he is undefeated
in this tournament.
Yeah, so, but all those games that he was undefeated, he always got free farm, which is not getting right now.
Oh, yeah. And you know what, it's not really that IG have tried to shut him down, they've left him, unmolested in the jungle, really. It's more just that they went for a strat which didn't work, and he had to waste a lot of time running all the way top. That's like 2 minutes of farm. Maybe it was even 3 denied. So really kind of an unfortunate situation created of his own volition. And CLG, they want to pressure bottom, but the Bear is going to prevent that. Safely farming, the hero tucked away behind the tower, the Bear out in the lane. Double tornadoes picked up. It's bringing to mind some of those Reddit videos right now. This is going to be annoying.
Well, here's CLG trying to get off the early aggression play here. No smoke being used. They're going to try to bypass this ward. But I do believe this Observer ward from Radiant sees it. Oh, Faith runs in the wrong position. Wrong neighborhood. Can he get off the self-disrupt? No, chains done too good. Ferrari, no tornado being dropped. Very, very curious. Although I'm not too sure what that tornado would be long enough. In either case, tier 1 perhaps under a little bit issue. Chuan coming in to defend. His creeps are coming in slowly as well. But I think Radiant should be okay.
I think they will be okay. Something else we haven't really talked about too much is when we saw Misery play his Storm in the previous, earlier today. Oh, there you go. Tornado on 2. Are they actually going to make it go zip away by Misery? Not using the full mod. Oh, the vacuum, great vacuum by YYF. And that is a level 3 vacuum. Those early levels really paying off. Hand of God gets dropped. What a test of faith with the Soul Catcher as well. So much pure damage. Too much, in fact. Ferrari goes deep for this one. He gets the kill from long range. Cue the NBA Jam music, and Faith, what the hell is he doing? Oh, he wants Miracle. Is he going to find him? No, one more Shadow Poison would do it. Not going to land.
Yep, but that push now turns around the importance of that Chen coming in for the gank, man. We know him for his creep, but that Hand of God, Hand of God, Arcane Boots, as well as a big test of faith, secured himself the Sand King kill. Shame that IG could not get any more beyond that one, but hey, that's fine. They're putting pressure on the bot lane as well. Speaking of bot lane here, Zhou's gonna get initiated upon. Question is, I think he's gonna TP out right now. In fact, he does do so. The only stun available for him, he just gets away. No big deal.
Yeah, Misery not having a powerful start, whereas Lone Druid, I mean, he's not really having a much, he's only level 8, but he's just so tanky at this point. The early point into the ultimate picked up, and they just can't kill him right now. They need multiple heroes. They really need the Sand King there, along with, or the Leshrac, along with the Storm to actually find these kills. Which means, that's the thing about IG's lineup, is if you want to go for kills, there's multiple heroes that have great escape. Invoker, Tornado, the Wex movement speed, he's getting close to a drum as well. Lone Druid is so damn tanky. The Chen, of course, keep them alive. Even Darkseer with Surge, it just takes so much to kill these heroes, and if you're not killing them, you don't really want to let them get big either.
Right, I mean, IG, again, they're going to just defend their tower. If they find the advantage to TP in and counter gank, they will do that. This is a very, very passive IG squad. Very different from game 1 we saw. And if you don't gank Zhou, well, you're going to be dealing with a lone druid late game. It is going to be a Maelstrom build. I guess we should stop calling the AOE 2000 build, since like every player has been doing it now. So it's going to be the Maelstrom build here for the lone druid, which, I mean, gives him the really big attack speed. And I think it's important to point out that the attack speed will translate to more entangles against a Lycanthrope.
Yeah, the attacks, I think it is the way to go here. The Radiance Burn would be okay to help deal with the Sandkeep Blink Dagger and Split Push. It's not like either item would be a bad choice, but I'm with you. The attack speed is going to be crucial, and still the Bear is going to hit very hard with Maelstrom. Maelstrom also gets you online a bit earlier, a little bit easier to farm, and with so many gankers in CLG, as well as this Lone Druid is doing, it's possible he could have died along the way, so it's still possible he could. So he actually does opt for Phase Boots on the Bear. Again, just he has so many options for Lone Druid players and how they like to. It really comes down to preference. Here we go, top lane. Zip on the way, pulled back in. The Medallion doing some good damage. Will he get away? One more Zip Tornado catching pajkatt. There's the EMP to follow up, and that's going to be all she wrote for that engagement.
Again, Hand of God came in from afar. IG just beats defensive, immediate TP. It is up to CLG to find those opening. Burrow Strike's gonna hit on the mid lane. Splitter, Venomancer ultimate. Zhou perhaps TP in the wrong position. Epicenter being used for him as well. And the tower goes down. Oh no, that was a big blunder. Vacuum backwards. A clap is gonna miss. But are they gonna get the kill regardless? Test of Faith, right clicks. Yes, that's one kill. Ferrari sped up. He's gonna try to go in. We're out of mana at this point, so really not gonna do too much aside from getting a couple of right clicks. But that was a pretty big win for the Dire squad. They got the kill against Lone Druid, as well as getting the tier 1 tower. And pajkatt right now trying to steal the Roshan. Very, very big play here. Bold play. But Ferrari without mana, I don't think they can actually stop Lycanthrope.
Oh, Chuan missed him with the Arcane Boots. Even then, he wouldn't have enough for the full combo, so he's going to go back to base, which means free Aegis towards CLG. If IG know about it, which they probably have an inkling. By the way, look at the wards on that. But even if they know about it, they cannot contest it, especially without Ferrari not having the combo. One other thing I want to put out about that fight is I love how they got aggressive when the Chen ult was down, and I expect to see more of that from CLG. When that big defensive ability is online, they're playing it safe. But when it's down, that's where you go in. Similar to a team not having Ravage, not having Panda ult, Chen ult is actually just as big in this game.
Yeah, it really is against this aggressive diving kind of play, because once that channel comes, you realize you're not going to get a kill, and the longer you stay under tower range, the more, the higher chance you're going to get counter TP'd upon and really just give up and feed. YYF on the top lane has his mech already finished. Going for the cloak, I imagine it's going to be a mech and pipe build. In this game, though, could be a little bit dangerous considering that there's a lot of lockdown. He can be in theory get bursted down from, you know, full health to 0.
Oh, Miracle. Gets spotted out. The Chen, Centaur comes in. Centaur gets brought down. No big loss there in the end. But fortunately for Miracle, he will survive. But here comes the split push for CLG. Lycan on the bottom lane. And I'm not sure if IG should be grouping up as 5 quite this much. I feel like they might be better off 2 or 3 heroes defending. And, you know, even if they don't get the early towers, they're ahead right now. And I do think that their late game is pretty scary in its own right. You talked about CLG having the better draft, but I think with the start IG had, they could just go for sort of more defensive play, but they want to be aggressive. In fact, are they going high ground right now? They have a mech up on the Darkseer, Chen with Arcane Boots, no pipe on the team. They're going to go for this.
Wow, maybe they're going to poke their head up to see what they could get. Perhaps a couple of pickoffs if that's what they're looking for. But push up against a high ground against a Stormster like this could be a very, very dangerous move. They do see the Stormster TPing and the EMP. Ooh, EMP forcing Stormster to zip away. Vacuum forward. They do see Miracle. The Purge on Miracle. Miracle is going to go down for sure. Wow, taking some big damage. Hand of God, mech up. He's absolutely fine. Sanking channeling a huge ultimate. Tornado does cancel it though. And now the IG squad on full retreat. They turn around. They see, oh no, Lacoste gets clapped, gets rooted. He's down. And that's 2 kills. Wall have already
bottom lane. pajkatt has already taken 2 towers. He's going on to the tier 3. And it looks like Zhou will TP and they're going to stop him from claiming the tier 3. They get 2 kills, but is that worth giving up 2 towers, and especially to pajkatt? 1,800 gold on him. I'm not sure it is. They also it was a pretty expensive fight. They used the Hand of God. They used really all of their abilities, and there was 5 heroes invested in that, so it's not like they're farming anywhere else or getting any kind of other trade-off for it. I'm going to call that even at best, and maybe even advantage CLG.
I'm definitely going to call it advantage CLG. I feel like IG, again, like you said, should be going for the late game, and anytime you trade unprofitably is not exactly a good late game strat. You know, if they're going for a Hail Mary push on the top lane, that's kind of different, but no, they're just keep on farming. One thing that we kind of have been neglecting is that you got to keep in mind that this Spirit Bear could even get more attack speed when Alacrity is cast upon them.
Oh, yeah.
This is kind of one of the strat that IG always runs, Alacrity on the Bear, and it really is absolutely insane. And no surprise, going back to the draft, that we saw Invoker and Bear being picked 2 and 3 at the same time. As we say that Faith in big trouble.
Burrow straight in to start it off, and he's just gonna die to the auto text. Look at the Howl damage. They'll only get one, and it is only Faith. But still, CLG just seeming to find the kills right now, and just being the aggressors, being very successful when they go for those kills. After kind of a slow start, overall the trade-off's going the way. Now the maybe going on to zhou. Oh, first hit entangle. Shouldn't be quite enough to get the kill, unless another entangle happens. There you go, though. 4-step in, as well as the tornado Ferrari with his signature mobility item on that Invoker, making things happen. But CLG, just that. It's the pest you can't get rid of. You put down all the rat traps you want. New colonies sprouting up everywhere. Now they're getting a tier 1 top. These guys are just being absolute pains in the rear.
And this is where CLG says best, you know, it allows you to, oh, tier done nice and not here by Lycanthrope. He's just farming the mid lane, sends a wolf on the bot, and just small little plays like that makes,
and they're not going to stop. They're going to get another tower if there's not more TPs. There you go, 2 TPs forced. Still, just very expensive tower defense. The bear charges in. They want Miracle, 1 entangle, will end his life, pull onto the bear, but the tornado is going to negate the power of that. There's a cold snap, the purge, the entangle. He's dead. But for the price of 3 TPs, not the biggest loss in the world.
Yeah, I mean, the TPs also defended the tower, but like you said, I mean, pajkatt and his team making you to choose. Do you defend top? Well, you're going to lose some damage on the bot. Do you defend top? And now you lose some damage on the mid. Pajkatt in position. He sees Chuan. He could just kill Chuan. The micro coming in here. Will Pajkatt be okay to stomp? Vacuum backwards. Oh, no, he pulled him out, but the blocks coming in. Not going to be enough. Forcing out Lycanthrope at this stage of the game is not too bad, though.
It's not too bad. Only a minute cooldown or so to go for that, but it means that he can't be aggressive right now. And the big thing about the ult being down, it's not really for the team fights because, you know, like we've been talking about, CLG don't really want to have those team fights. It's more he can't push as aggressively while this ult is down.
Yeah, he's going to be going to jungle instead, and even then he can be ganked. But right now, Misery, the difference of start that we saw the other Storm Spirit play with a quick Orchid in this game, I mean, he's in big trouble. He is going to... Oh, no, the vacuum backwards! Oh, I didn't even know that he could pull you out like this, but, you know, drains a whole bunch of his mana effectively, and they want this last exterior tower. You can see that pajkatt on the bot lane trying to threaten to go high ground, but he's really, really far away.
Now this is probably not going to be a good trade. There's going to be one more creep wave to deal with. Lone Druid on the front lines. Well, there's the glyph. Maybe that will be enough. The wolves get sent in, but pajkatt wisely keep his hero back. The wolves are about to die, and everybody's going to back up for IG. Wow. Yeah, you know, it's so weird that Storm's going for Bloodstone in this game. Misery had a much better start the other game, and he went for a more aggressive item. Now, if CLG want to take this late game, having a Bloodstone Storm can be great for allowing him to respawn quickly if he does die, for allowing him to just constantly spam his nukes, push a little bit more. But it's an item that normally when we see players get it, they get it quickly. That's why G loves it, because Dare will get him to farm, or try to anyway. They'll build their strategy around that Storm getting really big. CLG have not done that.
Yeah, 18 minutes is the time mark that most pro players do farm for it, and right now, I mean, Misery's quite far away from it. He's about 300 gold, so he's going to get it after this wave, but even so, a good 2-3 minute behind. And this is a very low kill count game, especially against a Chen, a Shadow Demon. You're not going to find too many kills, so I'm not too sure whether the charges, he's going to get too many of them. But with that said, it's still a good amount of HP, good amount of mana, and getting stats against, or getting HP overall against the Lone Druid is not a bad idea.
I can't believe this series already. The first game, we have kind of a methodical, slow-paced victory. Game 2 is just the tour de force, you know, over in 10 minutes kind of pudge performance. And now in Game 3, sure, it's kind of a slow roll, but this one feels a little bit more even than that other game that took a while in Game number 1. So we're getting a little bit of everything in this series. Are they going to be able to stop this push? That's the big question. Everybody just ignoring the wards. Now they farm them up. They haven't even used that Alacrity on the bear. With Rabbit and Alacrity, it's probably going to get 4 or 5 entangles in a fight at least. This could be trouble if it turns into a high ground push. And if they let IG get on the high ground, things could get dicey.
Well, seems like they don't want to defend that tier 2 on the top lane here. Misery's going to get himself a free tower. There's the Necro 3 being finished. Bloodstone's finished as well. Stormster does have the teleport scroll. And CLG's doing a very, very good job delaying this push. And meanwhile, teleport goes on the top lane here. Misery going for the last hit. They're trying to go for a pull into the last hit. He's going to get it just barely, though. And Zhou should be fine. He's going to back off.
I believe they killed off his bear. Where is that bear right now? No, maybe not. Maybe he just hasn't resummoned it yet. I don't see it on the map, though.
No, it's right next to him.
Oh, okay. Perhaps there you go. Yeah, I pulled it back late. I thought he might... He's not going to kill Storm anyway, but might have been able to deny the tower having that bear. I believe it was being harassed by CLG. Yeah, really nice, cute play there. Pulling him at the last second. Very patient as well. And Roshan's about to respawn. CLG looking to be in good position to get this.
Yeah, Roshan back in 2 minutes. It's up to CLG to push out the creep equilibrium, and they have been doing a very good job in doing so, right? The split push. That's what CLG is famous for. That's what the heroes are good for. And they're going to run right into Invoker. Tornado does find about everybody. There's a Deathling Blast as well. They see Miracle. Miracle down to half HP. Miracle, by the way, also has a Bloodstone, and he's been playing support.
Oh, Pike going on to him. Pajkatt wants no part of this. Bull is forced. It's only a level 14 Lycan, which means as Roshan he'll be up in time. Never mind. It's not quite there yet. And here comes Misery. The Bloodstone you mentioned. Now he's going to be aggressively pushing this middle lane. And CLG just kind of outmaneuvering IG here right now. And this is what you want to do. You talked about the split push to get Roshan down. IG just not the most maneuverable lineup right now. Sure, they've got Surge. They've got a Wex Invoker. But Lone Druid pretty immobile. Darkseer, Chen as well, Shadow Demon. All the supporting cast just can't get around the map very quickly.
Right? Meanwhile, we do have a little bit of D-War action here. CLG, they definitely know. It's going to be back at 24 exact. And the positioning over Roshan is being heavily fought upon. The Radiant side does not have any wards or counter wards available. Or at least I don't see them on their heroes, so I wonder what they're going to do about that.
I love the elaborate dance. Both teams trying to finagle their way into the perfect position, maneuvering back and forth, nobody committing. Akke perched up near the Ancients. And this brings me back to that article, I forget, who was it? Was it by NS about the dire Roshan advantage and his ideas on how to kind of fix it? We're seeing Akke doing that right now. Farming, well, he's not farming the Ancients, but he could be if he wanted to. Just plopping wards down, getting the vision up. And Venomancer is the perfect support to have in this situation. When you have a hero like Lycan, when you have the dire advantage, drop the wards on the high ground, drop the observers on the low ground, and easy for you to get vision, easy for you to D-ward. Here comes the engagement.
Well, I mean, they gotta send the bear in, because Pajkatt's gonna just slowly do this. There's basically no risk for him to do so, because he could always pop his ultimate form. As I say that, though, he's getting bashed, he's turning into Wolf, and there's no entangle on him just yet. The Splitter coming in right now, Stormster is zipping, he sees Chen. Chen has casted every one of his spells, no big deal. Defensive disruption against Chen. Faith, okay as well, very high in terms of HP. Misery out of mana, is he gonna go for the courier? No courier just yet. Nobody dies at the beginning of the team fight. The Chen creeps very, very low. Everybody's ultimate basically expended at this point. Stormster very low in terms of mana, waiting on the high ground. The trend creeps pushing him away, but at the end of the day, when you don't have ultimate, that Lycanthrope can't fight Zhou, and Zhou right now is going straight in for the Rosh.
You're right, but, and this is potentially a big but, that Roshan has a long way to go before he's actually dead. Looks like they are going to give it up, though. Misery is looking to jack this one. Do they actually know he's there? He drops the TP, picks it. No, he drops it again. He's coming in. My camera firmly fixed the Roshan. They're kind of spotting him out here. Roshan's going to die. Is there a zip in? No, they choose to give it up in the end. He was thinking about it, though. He was definitely thinking about it.
And if he was thinking about it, there's actually not many dangerous disables against him, so he could have went for it. But thinks better of it. Just too big of a risk right now. We are on the last match. He sees Chen right now, and Chuan and the Chen will be picked off if he does not micro properly.
Really?
Tornado does send him in the air. He does mech himself back up, and the vacuum just too much. He's trying to zip out, and I do believe the purge was a purge on him. I don't think so. Out of mana and gets right click down.
Well, who needs reliable disables when you have Soul Catcher, right? Just dies instantly. That was as brutal of a beatdown as I've ever seen. 5 heroes plus that bear, which has a Hyperstone up now. We really haven't seen the alacrity on the bear. I don't think Ferrari's used it yet, because he's just not high level enough at this point. But once we do, that is going to be a fearsome combination.
I mean, they don't need it at this point right now. They're going to just charge high up on the high ground. And the wards are getting ready by Akke, defending that. But I'm not sure whether wards are enough, because in the last push, I just ignored all the wards.
Yeah, it was pretty funny, but really, you don't have to worry about them at this point. Everybody's got some decent items, some decent farm up. the mech, the pipe available as well. They breach high ground, and this is a team that will instantly destroy your buildings. Pajkatt wants to trade. I don't think this trade is going to work out. No, he TP's back. They're going to fight this one. The bear, stunned, held in place. The zip in to start things off for Misery. Goes on the Ferrari, defensive disruption. There you go. Storm and Lycan both pretty much doing nothing. Epicenter on everybody by lacoste. 1, 2, 3. They're just getting mowed down, picked off. Lodger's got an Aegis, but he's going to die twice. Zhou caught out. Look at the damage, and lacoste does it. Wins the fight for his team. This is going to be really 5 kills counting the Aegis, maybe more. No, Darkseer got away. What an initiation by lacoste. What patience by CLG. Great fight for them.
I mean, again, IG, if they're going to win this game, they cannot get picked off like this. They have to play a lot better than CLG. And Chuan in that engagement got caught out. I was like, where's the mech? Where's the hand of God? And I looked, he was in the middle of that epicenter, which he should not be, and unfortunately that cost him a big team fight. It cost him Aegis, it cost him a lot of map positioning, and guess what? The Radiant team's coming, or the Dire team's coming right back for that tier 2. I think that tier 2 might even go down, depending how aggressively he's using for his Hows and Necrobooks. Looks like it's going to force out Glyph eventually, and that should be it for that engagement. Also, you got to keep in mind that if Chuan dies like that, he has to go back in the jungle for, 1.5 minutes or so to find this next army. It's a huge time sink for a player like Chen to go back to the jungle like that.
That epicenter, man. It's a little bit easier to hit that when you have Misery to jump in first, Lycan as well. But really, with Chuan not having the correct positioning, that epicenter just ruined them. This is a team with a pipe and a mech. Both of them were used in that fight. I believe even around the correct time, but they just overwhelmed that defense. I mean, the pipe might have actually expired at that point. I can't remember exactly, but there's Storm as well and Leshrac, so much magical damage. And then Lycan, who can do the big right clicks. They're going to go for it again without the Aegis. Epicenter isn't available. 30 seconds to go. This might be the difference. There is no Glyph either. Ooh, this could be tough for CLG. They've got to hang on until that Epicenter cools down.
Here's the thing, though. They don't have the bear until for 12 more seconds, so if they kill a bear one more time, then the Dire team should be fine for a good duration.
And they can do it.
But right now, I think IG feels like they could actually just go on the high ground. They made a blunder last time. They are not going to make the same mistake, I imagine. But no, they're going to back off. They're saying the creep equilibrium too far in on top lane.
Yeah, look at the top lane pushing, the bottom lane pushing. Overall, CLG just really... This is their whole game plan was about getting that early tower, the early towers knocked down, getting the map control, and that's what sets up the split push. The early push, the 4-man attempt, really, it failed. But CLG backed off, they made an adjustment, and now they are still getting to play that style. Credit pajkatt's Lycan. No matter what happens, he finds farm, and he has an impact on the game. He's 3-0-2, actually high fragger for his team, getting the most kills this game, and tied up with the Lone Druid as well. Not dying either, that's a big deal. So pajkatt's Lycan, they may not go on to win this game, but boy, does he have an impact no matter what.
Right, I mean, it just really complements a pajkatt's skill set. He's a great farmer, he has great map awareness, and when you give a player with great map awareness the ability to get out of any gank with, shapeshift, he's just basically in front of your base every time that you're not looking, and he's going to get a lot of farm along the way. And now, of course, I'm really curious on the net worth. How is the Lone Druid farming against the...
He's way behind. Well, it doesn't count the bear. It doesn't count the bear.
Right, that's... The Lone Druid is always the exception when it comes to, counting items and score, but gold per minute shows that right now.
I think there's about 6k on the bear, maybe 5k, so let's say he's at 9,000, maybe 10,000. He is nowhere near pajkatt, and that goes back to the Roshan and the towers.
In gold per minute right now, it's leading by quite a bit compared to Syllabear. Stormster, though, he's not doing too good for a Stormster. He's died a couple times here and there. He's still got that regen rune going right now, trying to look for a pickoff. This is going to go towards a late game, and earlier we're saying that we favor Radiant with the late game chance, right, to win?
I think you favored CLG to take this game with their draft overall. I favored IG in the late game. I just think they're a very strong defensive team. But now this is the game where I think CLG, this type of game where the map's spread out, we have Lycan and Storm who are getting pretty fat. If it goes on like this much longer, those two heroes are just going to be so hard to deal with. BKB for Storm, will that be the next choice? He's got 3k gold. If these two get fat enough, I just don't know what IG can do to deal with it.
IG's got to get multiple Force Staffs, Yule Scepter, Ghost Scepter, just any kind of defensive item they could find. And speaking of which, we have a gem and and an urn on the Shadow Demon. YYF does have that Ghost Scepter, has a full mech and pipe. And what does the Chen have? Chen is going to be going for Axe Scepters, so massive HP. I mean, I feel like they're all getting the correct items overall. It just really comes down to positioning, though.
At this point, I'm just feeling like if CLG, if those two heroes get fat enough, IG just aren't going to have a way to deal with the split push. And CLG can find the solo pickoffs. Heroes are getting tanky, there's great defensive power, but IG, this lineup wants to play 5-man Dota, and it's just so hard to play 5-man Dota against the way, not only CLG's hero picks, but also their style, their item selections, their decision-making, with pajkatt pushing, Storm just getting tanky, going for the Bloodstone, so if he dies, he's back in a jiffy to start pushing again. I feel like everything about what CLG's doing is designed to help deal with the 5-man Dota that IG wants to play. Will it be enough? It's hard to say, because God, it's a Darkseer with just an amazing set of heroes behind him as well. You can never count a team with Darkseer out. We saw it in CLG versus Complexity. I actually don't think you cast that game with me, but CLG were behind all game. Complexity was knocking on the racks, and then the one push too far. CLG gets a big vacuum.
I saw that game.
You did see it. Game is over at that point. So you can never count this IG lineup out. But the way they progressing...
they also had a Shadow Fiend that game, which is not the best late game carry, but
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. No, you're right. I feel like a 5-man Dota is going to be an issue, but for Ferrari and his squad, all they really need to do is push out the creep wave. Like, they push out up top, right? All they got to do is push out bot a little bit more, and they could just storm mid as 5 and force that 5-man Dota. I mean, when you're knocking on their Raxes, exposed Raxes, it's going to be 5-man no matter, whether you like it or not. The question is, can they get that creep equilibrium out, which is, they're struggling against that. They don't have a Tinker, they don't have a Prophet. So they gotta do it the old school way, and the old school way is just not quick enough against Lycan.
I'm not sure if they ever will get the lane push out. At some point, I think they're just gonna have to say, okay, F it, we're gonna try and force this, whether it's going for a kill, going for a push, because they're just cycling back and forth between mid and bottom lane. The Storm, the Lycan, farming the enemy jungle, Leshrac keeping that top lane pushed out. IG, I mean, I said outmaneuvered, and it's really feeling that way now. They have to stick together. They can't go off on their own or they will be picked off. Maybe one hero can, that be YYF, because he's so damn tanky and has all these utility items to survive, to deal with the damage. But CLG can farm on their own, which means gold-wise, they should be pulling ahead. And in fact, they are, gold and experience. It's not a huge lead. This is a very insignificant lead at this point. But slowly but surely, they seem to be gaining the edge.
Well, I mean, right now we're going to have an opening in just 2 minutes that the Dire team will relinquish any kind of pushing that they've been doing. They are going to just go into the Roach Pit and try to snipe that one. And that would be a very, very good time for them to, for the Dire, to Radiant to actually go push out and try to claim a little bit more map control and storm into a Roach Pit. The Roach Pit is going to be the deciding factor, I feel like, for this game even, because this game is really in a precarious balance, I feel like.
It hangs in the
balance. If Dire
balance.
lose a fight, whatever mobility you have, you are just gonna get racks against the Silver.
Oh, IG. When they need a big play, they turn to the smoke gang. 5-man up the middle lane. Is there a sentry ward here? Only an observer. There's a sentry ward on the low ground. I don't know if this is spotted. It should be momentarily. Oh, they get revealed. They spot Akke. Roshan on the verge of respawning. 2 kills here will be a Roche. I don't think a Venomancer is enough, but they don't even get him. Smoke thwarted, and here comes the push.
They get very important positioning, right? They take away the warding here, and right now you do see Misery doing that same old thing, going to be pressuring until you TP back, and this is a very bad time for IG to TP back. They're going to go for the Roshan, and Misery realize they do go for the Roshan. He's going to just go for the Rax trade, or at least forcing you to TP. Let's see how quickly the DPS is coming from Syllabir, Basher, Hyperstone, Maelstrom. He is going to bring down Roach very quickly, but look at the bot tower. We're going to have to see a couple TPs. IG's going to lose the bot racks if they don't do so. Lycanthrope already in there. No TP so far. Oh no, this is going to work out very bad.
And those TPs are going to get canceled.
Cancels the TP. Huge play here from Lacoste. BKB goes in for Miracle. The bot racks is going to be basically gone. That is going to be 1 racks. Miracle is going to have to pay for it perhaps. Oh, 430 is going to get paid off as well. Big win here. He's still alive right now. Still alive. Uses a Chisu. Oh, he's going to go into Ghost Walk. But look at the bot racks. It's completely exposed. That Aegis. How much is it worth? Is it worth 1 racks?
I don't think it is. I mean, sure, you can try. Oh, there's the zip in. They want Chuan. Misery pulls him back in. Chuan held in place. That Aghanim Scepter not going to do him a lick of good. Also, he didn't finish it anyway. He gets picked off, and now it's only Ferrari. It's the Necro 3 here. It's not, so he will survive. The problem is when you go down 1 Rex to this lineup, it's like going down 1 Rex to a Tinker or a Prophet. It's just constantly the creeps in your base, and that means the next Roshan going to be so much harder to contest. Aegis is up on Lone Druid. You said the cheese got used, I believe, so there's no cheese to work with. It's just an Aegis. And this Lone Druid, I feel to some degree, he can be ignored in this game. Just run around and run away from him. Why run through the brick wall when you could just circumvent it?
Well, I'm not sure if you could run around the big Syllabere because it has definitely the movement speed with the face boots. You know, the Iron Shell is going to be on him. He has a Hyperstone Basher. It is going to hit something.
Well,
right now, they defend the bot at least long enough for them to pull off yet another smoke gank. Oh, they catch Miracle right here. It is going to be Rax. Is there going to be Hex? Yes, it is. Ferrari going right there. There is a BKB on Miracle. It's going to have to pop it immediately, but the Brute does find him. Does he have buyback? He does. He does have the buyback. So they should be fine.
Scythe of Ice up on Misery. DD Rune picked up as well. Big items for him. All the towers and the Rex really help you out. pajkatt, 5k gold. So close to those next big items. If this fight goes poorly for IG, they're up against another wave of items. Right. This has to work out. That bottom Rex, if it goes down as well, they're probably going to lose another lane of Rex because of the push power coming their way. Creeps getting close to... Not really answering the base. She said, zip in. They won't YYF. Misery focuses him. There's your epicenter. The Burrow Strike. Ferrari held in place. Lockdown. Zips left. Zips right. pajkatt. Focus on the show. Kill him once. Can you kill him again? Do they need to? I'm not sure they do. Miracle entangled. Locked in place by the bear. Will it be enough? Miracle is not the target you want to be focusing, and Zhou tries to go into true form. Well, escapes. Barely any HP, but Misery's not done yet. Another zip, gets another kill, and that snowball, it keeps on rolling downhill. Chuan, the last survivor of this fight. Everybody else has run away or died. Invis, what an invis for Chuan. And he knows it. He definitely knows it.
Sean, definitely all chats on the Viz, but right now IG have an uphill to climb. They gotta defend bot. They gotta start defending mid. That tier 2 is basically dead. They have no time to defend that one. Also, that last engagement just shows you that pajkatt can kill Lone Druid with relative ease, I might add. He was just BKBing, right-clicking the Lone Druid. Normally, as a Lone Druid, you don't imagine they will right-click you because you have so much HP, your bear is doing so much damage. You think the focus goes on the bear. pajkatt says, no, I'll just focus you, no problem. Here comes the push. And CLG is just very close to winning the game right now. Blink Burrow Strike, the send back here. Very nicely done. 2-man Burrow Strike though. Chuan perhaps in a little bit of trouble. He is going to go down. No Invis respawning right here. Misery though is going to get picked off. He does have the Bloodstone, so he's going to be back very soon.
Chase.
Can we get Entangle? Entangle. Yeah, first Entangle. First hit Basher against Miracle. Not going to be enough. Meanwhile, BKB gets popped. YYF getting focused here by pajkatt. pajkatt not going to go for it. Miracle is going to get picked off eventually. Finally, that's yet another kill. Darkseer buys back. Will that be the end of the engagement? Is Miracle back? Miracle finally, Misery respawning back. Meanwhile, Miracle is going to be back very, very soon. Blink Dagger coming in. And, uh-oh, here comes the second ultimate form here from pajkatt. He's going on Zhou. Zhou down to half HP. Vacuum backwards. And I do believe that Invoker just got focused down. Meanwhile, we do have Faith getting picked up by a range tree. I think right now the Dire team is overwhelming IG. And I think the Beyond the Summit World Tour might just get claimed by CLG, threatening to get the second lane of Rax.
Oh, these Burrow Strikes from lacoste been so good all game. Misses one there, but not really going to matter. The Rax are getting mowed down. Assault Caress was picked up. Long zip from Misery. He gets Chuan. Send back immediately from this Chen. Just sending everyone back as soon as possible. But really, you can go back to your fountain and heal. CLG don't care. Congratulations indeed. What an epic Game 3. What an epic series. Only 26 kills, but the maneuvering, these 26 kills were some of the most impactful, exciting kills of any game I've seen as of late. Another Burrow Strike. lacoste, for me, definitely the MVP of this game. An Epicenter, celebratory perhaps. Will they get YYF? The medallion onto him. The fountain dive coming out. The Necro 3 summon. pajkatt is out for blood. Can he find anyone? 1 kill, 3 disconnects, 4 disconnects. Everybody either dying at the fountain or just disconnecting. The pain. But they're going to take it. So CLG, out of all the teams of this event, they're a strong team. I did not have them as favorites to take it, but boy, did they look strong, not only today, but throughout the entire tournament.
Yeah, I mean, big expectations for CLG to go very far in the actual tournament, if not win the entire thing, because I do believe the team, they can actually be one of the teams that can win it.
They're just so consistent. It's very rare that you see this team lose, and IG really threw them for a loop, but we saw CLG winning in multiple ways, not just in this series, but also in the EG one earlier in the tournament. They win with a pudge. Now they do it on the back of pajkatt's like and a couple of Roshans. But really, for me, again, just the supporting cast for CLG, they don't get as much recognition. Such great play from Akke, particularly from Lacoste and Mirakel, just doing such a fantastic job of setting up those carries for success. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it, not just for this match, but for Beyond the Summits World Tour. It's been a hell of a ride. Lumi, so glad that we were able to cast these games together. Heading into the International, if I wasn't already hyped, I certainly am now.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a great tournament. Of course, shout out to Gods for running this thing, pulling money out of his pocket to run this tournament, inviting all the teams. And to be honest, I felt like it was a great turnout for the stream viewers as well as the teams. I felt like we got great games, fun games throughout. And even the finals, look at these crazy bands. We saw a Shadow Fiend, we saw a Naga. It was great games, and I'm glad I was able to cast them.
Yeah, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. Again, you guys make this possible, the viewers, so big thanks to you. Of course, big thanks to Gods, like Lumi mentioned, for hosting the tournament. Thank you to the teams for participating. Congratulations to CLG. And even though IG doesn't win this match, man, they played well too. So big congratulations to all these teams who got far in the playoffs. I hope they'll all perform, even at an, even if they perform at like 3/4 of this level, the Internationals will be fantastic. And in all likelihood, the matches are going to be twice as good, maybe even more so. I'm excited for the International. What a way to wrap up Beyond the Summits World Tour. Again, I'm LD. He is Luminous. Together we are David and David of dotacommentaries.com. If you missed any of today's matches, any of the previous matches, just go to dotacommentaries.com, click on World Tour. The links will be there. The brackets for any matches you missed will be available. If you want to catch the replays in-game, you can always buy that in-game pass. Can watch all the replays with commentary, or just watch the VODs for free on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/LDdota, or for selected matches on Lumi's channel, youtube.com/LuminousInverse. But that's it for Beyond the Summits World Tour. So until next time, we bid you adieu. And, well, what a way to go out, guys. We'll see you all very soon for the preliminaries. We will be casting those together. Not exactly sure what the schedule is yet, but if you want to stay tuned for that, make sure to follow us both. Twitter.com/LDdota, Twitter.com/LuminousInverse, and we'll be giving you updates, as well as dotacommentaries.com, on exactly where those broadcasts will be. The International 2 preliminaries, they beckon, and they beckon hard. We'll see you all for that.